You have $650 million and nobody knows. Not your neighbors, not your coworkers, not the barista who's made your order the same way for 6 years. You're not hiding. You're just ordinary on purpose. And the strangest part? The number arrived in a boring email. No exclamation mark, no champagne. Just you, standing in a hardware store, comparing 2 identical packs of screws. This is what $650 million actually looks like. It starts on a Tuesday afternoon, somewhere between a hospital shift ending and the parking garage elevator. You notice the vending machine in the break room is jammed, not broken, just neglected. Instead of being annoyed, you stop. You think, who actually owns this thing? You go home and find out. It takes 40 minutes of searching, 40 minutes longer than most people would bother. What you find is a name. A small operator running a dozen machines across 3 buildings, clearing somewhere between $40 and $120 a month per machine after product and location fees. Not glamorous, barely interesting. Just a number sitting on a screen while the rest of the apartment is quiet. But the math does something to you. 1 machine nets $80 a month. 5 machines, $400. 25, run tight, in the right locations, $1,200 to $3,000 a month, whether you show up or not. The money isn't the point yet. What gets you is the architecture. The machine doesn't need you. It just sits in a hallway solving a small problem for strangers, and it pays you every time. You spend $900 on your first machine, used, dented on one side. You place it in a dental office lobby for a cut of revenue and a handshake. First month, $280 gross, $190 net after restocking trips. Your coworker made more than that in 1 overtime shift. Nobody congratulates you. You sit with the number on a Thursday night and feel something that isn't quite pride and isn't quite disappointment. But you don't quit because you're not looking at the $190. You're looking at what it proves. So you place a second machine, a third. You start watching laundromats the way you watch vending machines, not as a customer, but as someone studying the ownership layer underneath. A 15-machine coin laundromat in a strip mall can generate $60,000 to $200,000 a year. People always need to wash clothes. That need doesn't disappear in a recession. You buy your first laundromat for $47,000. Older machines, 6 years left on the lease, books kept in a spiral notebook by a retired postal worker named Dale. Underneath the mess, the cash flow is real. Year 1 nets $38,000. You don't celebrate. You use it as a down payment on the next one. Nobody sees this part. Not the scaling, not the compounding. Just a person doing math at a kitchen table at midnight. Your accountant, Karen, has done books for 19 years. She's seen everything. She reads your folder slowly, then says, "This is the most deliberately uninteresting portfolio I've ever seen." She means it as mild criticism. You take it as the highest compliment you've ever received, because that's exactly what you built. Not a brand, not a pitch deck. A quiet collection of assets solving unglamorous human problems, generating cash every month, whether anyone's watching or not. 4 laundromats pulling $290,000 a year gross, netting around $110,000. 2 municipal parking lots bought at county tax auctions, $31,000 and $44,500, generating $58,000 a year with a part-time operator handling everything. 3 highway billboards where you own the land, not the ads, collecting $800 to $1,400 a month each in ground rent. And a commercial cleaning company bought from a retiring owner named Frank, 12 contracted clients, $1.1 million in annual revenue, thin but reliable margins. Karen asks if you're planning to pivot into something with more upside. You tell her no. She doesn't fully understand the answer, but every asset in that folder shares one thing. It serves a need that doesn't go away. Not in a downturn. Not when a new platform disrupts everything else. People park. People wash clothes. Buildings get dirty. There's no app for any of it. At a networking event, a man in a $340 t-shirt talks about his portfolio the way some people talk about their personality, loudly, at anyone nearby. He drives a wrapped Range Rover. You drove a 2019 Honda Pilot with a cracked bumper you've been meaning to fix for 8 months. When he asks what you do, you say you own a few small businesses, laundromats mostly. You watch him do the calculation and sort you, mid-level, not worth the pitch. He turns away. That small dismissal is worth more than anything else that happens that night, because the moment someone underestimates you, they stop watching. And the moment they stop watching, you can do whatever you want. This isn't modesty, it's strategy. The ordinary life is armor, and you wear it on purpose. The Pilot isn't a statement, it's a tool. Every dollar not spent on a car payment goes somewhere that compounds. It's not complicated, it's just unpopular. Your best friend, Marcus, calls on a random Wednesday. No agenda, just checking in. 3 months ago, that call had something underneath it. He'd been building a food truck business for 2 years and needed $85,000 to lease a storefront. You could have sent it from your phone without feeling it. To your balance sheet, $85,000 is 11 days of passive cash flow. You didn't send it. You sat with the phone against your ear and felt the full weight of knowing exactly what you could do, and choosing not to. Because money handed to someone who isn't structurally ready for it doesn't solve the problem. It accelerates whatever's already there. So instead, you sat at his kitchen table for 4 Saturdays in a row, going through his numbers, his lease terms, his vendor contracts. He found $60,000 through an SBA loan and a small grant. He signed the lease himself. He never knew what you could have written the check for. That's not modesty either. It's understanding what the story needed to be. His story, built by his decisions. The email arrives on a Thursday at 7:12 a.m. You're standing in a Home Depot plumbing aisle, holding a bottle of drain cleaner, trying to remember if a pipe under a laundromat sink is PVC or galvanized. The subject line: Q2 Portfolio Summary, Final. Your accountant sends these every quarter. Thorough, unexciting, unchanged font for 19 years. You open it. Total verified net worth, across all holdings, crossed $650 million. You stand there under fluorescent light. A forklift beeps somewhere behind you. A man in a gray hoodie compares copper fittings 2 feet away. Nobody knows. The store doesn't know. The forklift doesn't know. You thought it would feel different. You'd imagined a seam, a before and after you could feel the edge of. There is no seam. Just the plumbing aisle, the forklift, and a number on a screen that accumulated quietly through 11 years of Tuesday decisions. You reply to Karen. Thanks, looks right. You pick the drain cleaner back up and walk to checkout. You pay $8.47. You don't use a rewards card. You can never remember if you have one. 11 years ago, you netted $190 from a used vending machine and sat with that number on a Thursday night, not knowing what to call the feeling. This is the same feeling, exactly the same, just with more zeros behind it. That's not nothing. It might be everything, because it means the feeling was never about the number. It was about the architecture. The proof that a system runs the way you built it to run, without drama, without applause, without anyone in a Home Depot having any idea. You start the engine. The laundromat drain isn't going to fix itself. You drive back the same road, same pilot, same crack in the bumper you still haven't fixed. Nothing about the outside of your life changes tomorrow either. The laundromat opens at 6. Karen sends a question about Q3 projections. Marcus's food truck has a line at lunch. What's different is quieter than that. Somewhere in this ordinary week, you'll watch someone spend money to look like they have it. And you'll notice something you couldn't have named 11 years ago, that the performance of wealth and the architecture of it are rarely found in the same person at the same time. The knowing doesn't make Tuesday easier, but it does make you wonder, what are you actually building? And for whom?